Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kara Melendi, helping you co-create magic with the universe. And I work with astrology as well as the Akashic Records and manifestation secrets to help you along your journey of the soul. And I'm taking a look today at the full moon in Libra, which is happening on April the 19th. And this is the second full moon in Libra that we had this year. So this is really cool. And it's a very different energy around this full moon as well. I really see a lot of different themes coming through, but especially the spotlight on relationships and especially how we are showing up in our relationships. So I really want to dive into this very, very interesting dynamic that's unfolding. And as always with the full moon, I love a full moon, absolutely love a full moon. Not only is it beautiful, I love that it's an amplifier. So it amplifies what is going on in your life. It's an amplifier of emotions. And even leading up to the full moon, like when I'm doing this live today, the full moon is tomorrow. For a lot of people that are really sensitive, you are probably already feeling the buildup. Say hi as you join live. Hi, Mary. Hi, Nita, Donna, Teresa, welcome. Like we can definitely start to feel more emotional around this time. And you know, that's not a bad thing when we learn how to process and accept our emotions. And that's why a full moon is a beautiful opportunity to look at and release what is no longer serving you or what is no longer working for you in your life, because it's like we can't hide during a full moon. Everything is amplified. So as you jump on, share with me, what are you releasing? What are you letting go of in this full moon energy? And as always, I will lovingly hold that space for you. It's so helpful just to step up and claim, this is what I'm letting go of. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Rolene. How are you? Yes, yay, full moon. I know, love the energy of a full moon. So what are you releasing and letting go of? And what's also helpful to do, especially when it comes to our manifesting, anytime we're letting go or releasing something in our life, it's then helpful to choose what we are calling in. So you know, it may be, this example just came up, so I'm going to share it. It may be I choose to release comparison to other people. Or yeah, I'm choosing to release comparison to other people, and I'm choosing to embrace my unique talents and my unique gifts. So super helpful. What am I letting go of? And then what energy am I now choosing to embody and step into? Because the other aspect of the full moon as well is it is a time to celebrate. It tends to be a more social time. So on the new moon, it's more about going inward, reflecting on our intentions, recharging our energy. And the full moon has this vibe and this energy of coming together with other people, connecting and celebrating with other people. So also celebrating what is going well and what is working in your life. That is also key when it comes to manifesting. The energy of celebration is very high vibe. And this is another theme coming up around this full moon as well. It's like what we focus on really expands in our life, right? That's like basic law of attraction stuff that I think we all need to be reminded of though, right? Like we need to know how that plays out in our day. So when we're celebrating what's working, we're in the energy of more things working, more things flowing, and we're in that energy of gratitude. And I feel it's so important, right, to be grateful for where we are while open to receiving more, because it's only in that energy of gratitude and celebration that we can create space for more to come into our life, right? So we want to be in gratitude, and also it's through celebrating and noticing what is working in our life that we step into the energy of joy. Because if we're always have this belief that before I'm joyful, I have to reach this goal, or I have to have this thing shift in my external environment, then we're always chasing something instead of realizing it's here. So I know that was kind of a tangent that's a little bit separate than what I want to talk about for the full moon, but I feel it's such a powerful lesson. Grateful for where I am, open to receiving more. Hi, Lamorla. Welcome, beautiful. Rebecca, hello. Great to have you here. Who else do we have? Wanda. So as you jump on, share with me, what are you releasing? What are you letting go of in these full moon energies? And what are you now choosing to call in? Even if you're on the replay, feel free to share. Jennifer's releasing fear once and for all. Donna has been successfully controlling her triggers. Kind of proud of myself. I love that. You should be proud of yourself. I love that. I mean, that's a big thing, right? When we're aware of what's triggering us in other people and we take our power back and we say, I'm no longer going to be triggered by what's happening around me. Like, that's true conscious creation when we're able to do that. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a look at the full moon in Libra, starting with this beautiful Libra energy. Once again, it's our second full moon in Libra this year. How cool is that? So Libra places the spotlight on our relationships, and it's all about creating harmony. It's about creating fairness in our relationships. Like, with this Libra full moon energy, because okay, just to break it down a little bit, we have the Libra energy, and the Libra energy, like pure Libra energy, is about harmony in our relationships. It's about finding a sense of balance. It's about creating win-win situations. And the moon governs our emotional response. So it's how we feel about things. So we have the moon in Libra. So emotionally, we are craving this sense of harmony in the relationships in our life. And then the question becomes, how do I create this harmony? And I'm talking about all relationships. So this is like our romantic relationships. This is also just relationships with people we meet on a day-to-day basis. It can be like relationships with our coworkers, all relationships, right? Like on a deep level, we're craving that harmony and that connection. But there's some aspects that are happening right now that are really bringing into focus and asking us to question, how do we get there? And with Mercury now in the sign of Aries, we are still in Aries season, opposite the moon in Libra. We've got the sun in Aries next to Uranus. And this is where it kind of adds to the picture. It's like, and that's where I think I added in the title, being your authentic self can actually lead to more peace and harmony in your relationships. So we're also feeling this calling right now to really be our true self. And you may be noticing, let me know if you resonate with this, relationships in your life where you feel you can't be your true self, or where you feel you have been holding something back. And this full moon is really going to bring that into light. It's really going to bring that into the surface and have you look at, am I showing up as my true, authentic self in all of the relationships in my life? Or am I holding back a piece of who I am because I feel like that person won't accept it? If I show up as all of me, it won't fully be accepted. I think we can all relate to that in some area or probably some relationship in our life, right? It's kind of like an ongoing thing that we're working on that's really in the spotlight around this full moon. So the question really is, how can I be more of my true authentic self and trust that can actually lead to greater peace and harmony in the relationship? So if you're just joining now, say hi, feel free to share. What are you releasing? What are you letting go of in these full moon energies, and what you're calling in, so I can hold that space for you. It's so helpful just to share. Hi, Gail, Misty, Sarah, welcome. Okay, so there's also an example that's coming through that I want to share on this as well, that's come up with my husband. So he has a lot of Virgo energy in his chart, which among other things is also about like pure service and like having the intention to serve and give back. But he has Mercury, the planet that governs how he communicates, in the sign of Libra. And what I've like witnessed and noticed him do a lot is sacrifice what he's needing or how he's feeling just to keep peace in the relationship. And there was recently something that came up with like an event that someone wanted him to go to that he didn't want to do it. He wasn't even feeling that good, and they were really like pressuring him to go. And he was saying, you know, I'll go, but you could tell he was angry about it. And I remember thinking and even saying to him, like, why don't you just say no? If you don't want to do something, say no. And he was talking about how it damages the relationship short term to say no. But what's so important to remember, that long term, it damages relationships more when we're sacrificing what we need, who we are, to always keep the peace. So the question is, how do we find that balance, right? And you know, if we have a lot of that energy of Libra or maybe Virgo in our chart where we just want to serve, we want to create harmony, sometimes in that moment, the easiest thing to do can sometimes be just to say yes or do something to keep the peace. But long term, that is more detrimental to relationships because it wears them down. And if we're not happy, then the relationship isn't going to flow well either. So I feel like that's what we're looking at with this full moon. Like, it kind of encompasses that situation that I was recalling with my husband. It's like, we want peace, we want harmony, we want to create relationships that are supportive, we want to be there for people that we love, but how do we do that in a way that still honors our needs, our well-being, and who we are and our independence? And that's where the sun and Uranus and Aries opposing the moon is really coming in. It's like that part of you embracing all of you as well. It may be embracing that part of you that wants to rebel. It's integrating the suppressed parts of who you are so you can feel more like yourself, and trust that through doing that, you actually show up more authentically in your relationships and create harmony. So let me know if this is resonating, what's coming up for you. Jennifer's saying, I do that a lot. Yeah. When we love other people and we just, we want to be there, we want to support them, it can be easy to do that, right? So we just also have to think of the bigger picture outside of the present moment of actually, what do I want long-term for this relationship? Wanda, hello, beautiful. Wanda, I have a very close relatable chart to your husband. I can very much relate to him. Yeah. And there, of course, it's like, the opposite of that too, when we see Aries in the shadow, which is the opposite of Libra, it's like we don't want to be selfish people either, right? Where we're always just thinking of ourselves in a way that's in the shadow form. So it's almost like we're caring for ourselves from like a deep-rooted place of love and honoring what we need, and knowing that through doing that, we create space for others to do the same, and we create space for these healthy relationships, right? It's like, if you've ever been around somebody who's just, you can tell like they're just in their power, they're just being themselves, doesn't that encourage you to do the same, right? So like, we're working kind of with that energy as well. Ashley, hello. Saying, well, this is what I'm currently trying to figure out, how to handle a relationship with my parent. Yeah, relationships, huge right now. Like, this is a spotlight for so many people. We're seeing these themes. Mary, I'm a Libra and can totally relate to what you're saying, Kara. Yes, yes. And, whether or not, even at this time, if you are a Libra, you relate to this energy, you may feel this even more strongly, but all of us are like stepping into this energy right now, learning how to work through this in our relationships. So really take time in this full moon energy to deeply sink into, how am I showing up in my relationships? Am I honoring my authentic truth? Am I honoring what I need? So another aspect of this can be looking at the patterns that are reoccurring in your relationships. Like, our relationships, they're our best teachers. And if there's a pattern that's continually reoccurring, or you're constantly having something mirrored back to you that may trigger you, this full moon is a beautiful time to look at that. And it may just be thrown in the spotlight anyway, because we don't take responsibility for other people's actions. Like, of course, they have to own that. We can't do that. But what we can do is take responsibility for our part in the equation. So how are we showing up in our relationships? What are we attracting? And if there's continually a pattern being mirrored back to us that we don't like, maybe it mirrors a part in us that needs a deeper level of healing or a deeper level of recognition. So relationships can be beautiful teachers as well, that allow us to dig a little bit deeper into what needs to be healed within myself, right? So that's a huge part of this too. Okay, Nina, how are you? Beautiful. So you've got Libra energy for sure, and Gemini. That's all about communication. Okay, so that is one big part of this full moon energy. Relationships, how am I showing up, honoring my authentic truth, speaking what I need, saying what I need, and trusting that in the long run that will create the harmony. So the ruler of the full moon in Libra is Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. And right now, Venus is located in the sign of Pisces. So we're still feeling very empathetic as well, which is really beautiful. Like, the energy right now, we are very much able to relate to other people, how they are feeling. We can be very intuitive in our relationships as well. So that's another beautiful aspect that's happening. So another theme I want to touch on, because this has been coming up a few times in the readings that I've been doing with people, and I know this energy is there. Let me know if you can relate or if you're feeling this as well. It's like this sense of haziness, or like you're walking through a fog in your life a little bit and in reaching your goals, and you're like, I'm not really sure of the next steps. Everything seems so up in the air. I still don't have the details in place. And I know this has kind of been the energy for the last couple of months, and it is slowly going to start to shift. So if you are in the place where you still feel like you're walking through the fog, you're in a haze, the best thing to do with the cosmic energies right now is to move forward in action. And I probably shared this before. If you've been following my videos or posts, the best thing we can do if we feel like we're walking through the fog is to keep walking, keep going, take the next step, because when we stand still, it gets worse, it gets harder to see. So move forward in action. Action begins to lift the fog. Action begins to bring clarity. And we are still in Aries season. Aries season is the initiator. It is like putting yourself out there, right? Taking those action steps. And we now have Mercury in Aries as well, and a lot of cardinal energy, which is about take the action, move forward. And there is still an element of trust and faith that's coming in. Can I trust the universe? Can I trust myself, even when I don't have all the details, to still take these next steps forward? And Mercury in Aries also teaches us to be confident and strong in ourselves, but in what we're communicating, what we're putting out into the world. Like if we're saying to ourselves, or if we're repeating to ourselves that I don't have clarity, I feel lost in a fog, that may be our current experience, but we also want to ask, is this something that I want to continue? Like if we see every word that we speak as an affirmation, do I want to continue to affirm that I feel overwhelmed and I feel lost? Probably not. So we want to acknowledge, we want to acknowledge that part of ourselves that is experiencing that, but then we also want to be aware of what we are affirming now going forward. And affirming a new story, right? Starting to claim that, what if I do have more clarity than I think? What if I take this action step and trust it will lead to the next thing in my life? And as we go, or I guess we're like mid-April now. I guess we go through April, but coming in the end of April, even early May, even when we enter Taurus season, there's still a lot of this Aries influence. So the clarity and the momentum is going to start to set in. I know a lot of people are probably already feeling more clarity setting into their life as well with the shift of Mercury in Aries. But right now, it really is a good place. Like there's a time to be in energetic alignment, right? And to do the inner work. And that always is the most important, right? If we're just taking action without the energy piece, it's not going to be effective. But there's also a time where we do have to move forward in action. We have to trust ourselves. We have to trust we're supported. And we have to trust we don't need to know all the steps to take the first step. The action will bring more of that clarity through. All right, so if you're jumping in now, say hi, share with me. What are you releasing? What are you letting go of in this full moon energies? I will lovingly hold that space. Rebecca's feeling this. Yes. Yes, oh my goodness, so many readings. People are like, why does it seem so confusing? Why don't I have the details? Why is it like I've been walking through the haze? And I hear you. I mean, we've had a lot of this Pisces energy ongoing. We still have Venus in Pisces. It is kind of like a very dreamlike state energy, but it is a time where we're learning trust, we're learning surrender, we're learning to have faith and intuition very strong as well. Pamela, hello. Listening to the replay. The replay will be here for sure. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome. Okay, so what else around this full moon? So I feel like there's going to be new ideas that are coming in for you. We have Mars in Gemini now, which can really stimulate new ideas, new perspectives, new ways of doing things. So really remain open to that. Like sometimes all we need to create that change and shift in our life is to see things in a new way, is just to simply take a new perspective on an old challenge. So be very open to even asking that question every day. If you feel stuck with something in your life, how can I see this in a new way? What is a new way to see this? And just be in the energy of that question and then notice how that shifts around you. Because this can also be I mean, it's a lot of interesting aspects happening around this full moon that suggests we are going to be feeling things emotionally. We are going to feel that urge more than ever to step into our power and create changes in our relationships and to really speak our truth. But it can also bring like beautiful growth and forward momentum as well. And if you really intend, and I think this is important too, to have the intention right now that every word you speak is coming from a space of love, because sometimes Mercury in the sign of Aries can be very direct as well. So we may notice other people being more direct in their communication, or we may notice that in ourselves. And if we're just rooted in the space of love and we're affirming that even when we're setting boundaries, when we're speaking our truth and what we need, that it's coming from a place of love, that it's coming from a place that's going to support the relationship, that's going to create win-win situations, beautiful changes can unfold right now, and we can really just feel in this very strong, empowered place and deepen our connections with a lot of people in our life as well. Like, this does give us the opportunity to go a little deeper and to have those really strong, solid bonds with people that we love in our life. Hi, Kimberly. You're a Libra. Beautiful. All right, so if you want a private reading, I've opened up 3 spots to celebrate the full moon energy. So if you want to know where all of these changes are happening for you, how you'll uniquely experience the full moon energy, you can get a private reading and explore your chart, your unique energy, and what's coming up for you for the rest of 2019. I also decided to leave my Goddess Sisterhood open until tonight, midnight Eastern time, because we're doing a full moon ritual in there tomorrow. So if you want to jump in on that, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful space, amazing women there. So you can just visit my website, spiritualgoddesses.com, or you can just message me and I can give you the details on the reading or on the Goddess Sisterhood, or both, whatever feels right for you. Yes, otherwise, take time in this full moon energy to set your intentions, do a releasing process of what you're letting go of, what's no longer serving you, and fully claiming how you want to show up and how you want to be in your power and what you want to see unfold in your relationships, right? Recognize the power your words have. Every word you speak is an affirmation. Speak words of truth, of love. Claim what you want to attract, and there's so much power in that. All right, thanks for hanging out, everyone. This was fun. I'm loving the energies around this full moon. I know I'm already feeling it for sure, so yes. And message if you're interested in the reading or the sisterhood. Sending so much love and light to you all, and I will see you very soon. Bye.